So in this video we're going to move ahead with trying to boot CPM on the machine using the RAM cards we have installed. So a recap of the cards installed in the machine: the reproduction 8080 processor card here on the front panel interface card here. There's a ribbon cable that feeds off to the front panel. It's currently removed so we can see the card. The 1702 EEPROM card we wire wrapped in previous videos. It only has one 1702 in it currently, and that's got the combined disk bootloader. We've got a 16K Goodbout static RAM card, a second Goodbout card here, a third 16K memory merchant card here. This is the serial card, the 88 SIOB that we modified for RS-232 line levels. It's going off to a USB RS-232 adapter on my computer. Of course, the switching power supply is behind. And finally, we've got this card right here, which is the floppy interface card. It can provide RAM and ROM on the card. Currently, all RAM and all ROM is disabled, so this card is just strictly acting as a floppy controller. It's relying on our ROM card here and the RAM cards in the system for the system to actually operate. We've got a comment there from a viewer that we captured, such as live. So the memory map of what we just described is kind of displayed here. We've got those two Goodbout cards in the machine. The card in the second block here is the one we repaired previously, where we identified a bad RAM chip, had it socket A7. It was replaced and tested good. We've got the memory merchant card here. An empty block, there's no RAM here, and then my 17 EEPROM card with the one ROM in it, FF00, which is the combined disk bootloader that should be able to boot CPM. So I guess at this point, really the next step is to fire up TeraTerm. Actually, I want to look at one other thing while we're here. And that was a quick recap of the notes from before, where we identified we were reading ones where we expected zeros on the A6 chip on the board. We swapped A6 and A7, and that reading ones where we expected zeros moved. And I've now been able to test via the Altmon monitor all four banks on that second card at these address blocks, and they all test good. So really, I expect the machine to boot CPM here, but you just never know. So let me power the machine up. Bring the floppy drives up. Reset it. Examine address FF00, which is where the combined disk bootloader is. And let's run and see if we get the CPM prompt. Excellent. So that's a really good sign. So this is a build of CPM for 48K, as you can tell here. And because we have 16, 32, 48K of RAM in the machine, this actually works. That is really nice. Survey should show we have RAM up through 48K, which is nice. We've got ROM up here, and we've got this unknown, which is really where the memory was empty in the memory map. If we go here and look at the memory map, that should match up very well. So we see RAM up through 48K, we see an empty block of 14K, and we see what it's considering ROM up here at the top of memory or bad. Because we've only got ROM in the upper 256 bytes, that could be considered bad, or no memory there. Really nice. We've got ports 10 and 11 occupied. That's what's occupied on the serial card here. So really, this is a really good sign. Let's see if we can actually load some software now and do a little something. Again, my goal here is to have as many vintage cards in the machine as I can. I'm obviously not going to get an original MITS floppy controller card set. It's just not going to happen. The EEPROM card we've wire wrapped is using as many vintage parts as I can. The CPU card, although it's a modernly manufactured PCB, is a clone of the original card layout-wise, and has many components on it that are date coded from that era as possible. Front panel interface It's really a modern interface for the front panel. I'm not going to be able to find an original front panel. Odds are really small. But again, getting as much vintage stuff in here as we can. My stupid little test. Storing X, 20, next X, 30, go to 5, and yeah, my line numbering sucks. And we're running, so I'm very happy with this. This gets us definitely another step forward where we want to be with the build. So, not sure there's a whole lot more I can say here. It's good to see the machine booting and using actual onboard RAM cards. Very pleased with this. So I'll see you in the next video.